Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool and this is Gems of War. And today I got nine teams for you for the Purple Tower of Doom. I got 3 mids, 3 lows, 3 highs. So trying something new here, give you a lot, see what happens. Might be a little later in the day, but more teams, so you have more to choose from. Tower of Doom, you guys, make sure you get the weapon, buy up to the weapon in the shop, put the weapon on your team, and you'll be good to go. Follow your scouts, you know the deal. I'll be live streaming tomorrow. Maybe one of the last live streams ever. We're going to have 2 or 3 more, so make sure you're there for the red eye, the last stop, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the first team here, I did, you got to put the weapon on there, so the Doom shield is up there. We got, did I even... Hold on a sec. Alright, we're good. So we got the Hex Rat as our main damage dealer. It actually hits pretty hard. It's something you don't really think of, and I think it's an Underworld troop, pretty sure. And then we got the Herald of Blight. So the idea here with this low-level team, no Mythic, no Legendary, is that we're going to be using Herald of Blight to curse. And it's going to hit 2 enemies. It's going to destroy a row and everything like that. Uses green. Leprechaun blows up green. Like, everything's here for a reason. Hex Rat is then going to finish everything off, It does double damage on cursed enemies. It death marks on cursed enemies. So this should work pretty good for a low-level player, and none of it's too hard to get. Leprechaun is going to be the star of the show on this event, other than the weapon. A lot of these teams, you're going to have the weapon, Leprechaun, and then Archmagus class is what I did a lot of the time. Probably 7 out of the 9 teams I did Archmagus. Alright, here's another low-level team. So number 2 out of 3. We did the Onyx Gargoyles. So this one's pretty cool because the Onyx Gargoyles do pretty good splash damage. You want to shoot 2 slot and then 3 slot on the enemy team. And then the Leprechaun will blow up the Gargoyle gems that they put on the board, so it's pretty fun. Once again, the weapon is in first slot. This time, usually I'll put the weapon on the bottom of the team, like a dingleberry hanging off your butt, but this time I put it in first slot a lot, just uses my tank or whatever. I'm not really casting it, but it's up there as your tank, as your, skull damage dealer. It's only purple, so it's only blocking on purple, so the Gargoyles can still catch blue. One thing about this team is you want to do Geomancer class. That way you're 50% starting your Gargoyles and your hero. And then Leprechaun, of course, is empowered, so it's up at the start of the fight either way. You cast Leprechaun, hopefully that gets up the Gargoyles. You cast the Gargoyle on 2 slot, hopefully that kills 1, 2, and 3, but if it doesn't, you got a second Gargoyle. You cast that. If there's still stuff standing after that point, you Leprechaun, you blow up the board, Gargoyle gems, you get positive stats effects, they get negative stats effects, rinse and repeat. Should go pretty well. Gargoyles are usually a good choice for low-level players, whether it's the red and brown Gargoyle or the blue and purple Gargoyle, the Onyx Gargoyle. So don't cast that weapon, just use it as your tank and then cast the Gargoyles. Make sure you do Geomancer class, though. That's the whole point of that team. Put up the Gargoyle gems, blow them up with the Leprechaun, use Geomancer class, 50% start. Alright, here's one more team for you low-level players out there. Shield on top, Leprechaun on bottom. Archmagus class again. Pretty sure. So 2 of them are Archmagus there. Middle one was Geomancer. But this time we're doing Atlanta and Sister of Nightmares. So just Sister of Nightmares has a 75% start. Hits multiple enemies. We'll put negative stats effects on them. It's pretty fun to use. And then your Atlanta just hits all enemies. So usually it'll probably, for a low-level player, you'll probably cast the Sister of Nightmares, cast the Leprechaun, cast the Atlanta, 2 things will be dead, rinse and repeat, and you should be good to go. And when I think of low-level players, I think of somebody just doing what they can. They don't have legendaries, they don't have mythics, they're just trying to help their guild. Maybe they're even doubling, tripling up on sigils so they can get, just contribute. So that's what I'm thinking of as a low-level beginner. All right, here's mid-level team. This is the one I would recommend. So with the first batch, I would say probably the first team or the second team. They kind of went in order of how I like them. I like the first team the best, second team second best, third team third best. Here, once again, this is my favorite mid-level team. So we got Venoxia Shoggoth. I use this quite a bit when there's a purple restriction. Reason is that Venoxia does true damage. We love true damage, especially when it hits all enemies. And then Venoxia has a chance to get its mana back. It puts green and blue on the board, like 9 of each or something. So we have a green Storm Falling with the Archer class. We put green up on the board. Really, we have a green Storm Falling with the Archer class. The Explode potion goes off. And then we have Venoxia casting, putting green on the board too. And then, you know, that either gets Venoxia back up or it gets Shaggorath up with the blue that it does. Shaggorath does true damage as well, blows up the board. They both do mana generation. That's my favorite mid. Remember Archer class, though. Here's my second mid. Went with Magnus and Vanya. So Vanya's really easy to get. Underworld, Legendary, Silver Necropolis. She is pretty safe. So if the first team for some reason is failing for you, let's say you're dying, you're losing your troops or something, which I don't really think would happen because Shaggorath is silencing, you know, you should be okay. But let's say it is. Let's say it's happening, you're dying. Well, then you got this team here. Vanya has a summon, so you'll be all right. You got your tank up top. Should survive for quite a while. You're not casting it once again. Magnus, damage to all enemies. On 4 or 5 gem match, it does like a negative stats effect on the enemies. And then with Vanya, a 4 or 5 gem match blesses your allies. So you got a bless on your side and a negative stats effect on their side. You're dealing damage to all the enemies with both of them. And then you have a summon in case you need it with the Vanya. So that's what's up with that. Weapon, Leprechaun, Archmagus. A lot of these teams use that. With the double purple, brown, minus blue banner there. Alright, here's the last mid team. What did I come up with this time? We got, was it Tian Long? I think that's his name, that dragon. Tian Long, probably. Then we got Queen Titania. So, Weapon, Leprechaun. This time I think I did Archmagus. Just Archmagus is a very good purple class, so it's a purple restriction. Every single troop is going to be purple. Your weapon's purple. So Archmagus, you can't really go wrong. The only time I didn't use Archmagus was when I was 50% starting my constructs with Geomancer, and when I was using Venoxia with the Archer. Every other time, though, I did Archmagus. Unless you have some sort of purple loop going where you could use Thief. But this one, blow up your Leprechaun like always. You got the Tian Long, who's going to throw up red and yellow. You got Queen Titania, who hits all enemies, just like Tian Long. And then if there's 13 or more red on the board, it gets an extra turn like you saw right there. So I'm hoping you cast the Tian Long. You know, there's already some red up there. Tian Long puts more red up there. Hopefully it's more than 13. You cast your Queen Titania, you get an extra turn. That's what I'm hoping. That's why Tian Long's ahead of Queen Titania. And then Queen Titania has a Fairy Fire. So, you know, pretty good team here. Once again, it's kind of in order of how I like them. Like Venoxia Shaggorath is my favorite. Move to the next one, which is a little safer. And then this one would be, if you don't need it to be safe, but you don't have Venoxia or Shaggorath, you could go with this one maybe. I've never put this team together before, so a new one for me here. And if I do more teams like this, hey, hit the like, leave a comment, run it up, watch the whole video. If you want to see more stuff like this, if you want to see me do like 10 teams for every freaking event, I might do that. But show some love, please. We are... Alright, so this is the high-level team. If you have everything in the game, this is probably what you're going to do, or something like this. So, we did put the weapon on the bottom, finally. Dingleberry hanging off your booty cheeks. And then we're going to use Stellaryx. Stellaryx is the best troop in the game. It's the win button. So, why not use the win button? You put in all that work to get it, why not use it? So, Leprechaun. If Leprechaun... You know, cast Leprechaun, and then hopefully it gets up Stellaryx. If it doesn't, it will get up Thrall. You cast Thrall, Stellaryx is up, cast it, you win. And if everything doesn't just die from that, then Stellaryx, a lot of the time, will just get itself right back up. And you just cast it again and win. And if that doesn't happen, you got Thrall. You got Leprechaun. You're going to just get it up easily. The only problem with this team is that it's your only damage dealer. So if for some reason something happens to that Stellaryx, you're kind of screwed. But you're going to kill them so quickly, they're not going to have time to even make a move, you know. They don't have time to pull out their gun and shoot it. They're going to be, you know, playing pocket pool. So yeah, Stellaryx if you got it for sure. It's a purple Any like color restriction, basically, you can use Stellaryx. But purple's a good one because you can use Thrall, Leprechaun, Pharaoh Cafru. You know, it's a good, like, that's Stellaryx's color, in my opinion, is purple. Alright, so here's the second high-level team. Once again, they're probably in order of how good I think they are and how much I like them. So this is my second favorite, probably. We're using the weapon for our tank again, up top. We got Zul'Goth, Diamantina, Leprechaun. So I thought this was a really neat team. The only problem I had with it was mana generation. Like, we have two very mana-hungry troops that are starting from 0. So you got Zul'Goth with 32 mana cost. You got Diamantina with 30 mana cost. They're very mana-hungry. So that's the only problem I saw with this one. But otherwise, you're just doing a bunch of skull business with a bunch of damage with some instant kills. It's pretty fun. I like to... It doesn't really matter which order. I kind of thought, you know, I want to cast Zul'Goth first. Put a bunch of skulls up there. That way Diamantina can hit harder because it does damage based on how much skulls are on the board. But even the other way around, it was fine. You cast Diamantina. Diamantina turns the skulls to Doom Skulls. And then you cast Zul'Goth. You have more Doom Skulls for when you match a bunch of skulls after your instant kill. So that one's pretty fun. If you're sick and tired of Stellaryx and you have Zul'Goth and Diamantina, I thought it was pretty fun. Maybe use a Medal of Anu. I didn't think about that. I didn't really change my medals at all through this whole thing. Maybe use an Anu, because you get a 20% start. And with 32 mana, that's like 8 mana. And then you have your Explode and your Enchant, which will get you probably up to like at least 12. And then you only have to do 20 instead of 32. So maybe do an Anu, I would say. Probably a good idea. I did Archmagus again, I'm pretty sure. I was thinking, like, as I was finishing up this, I was like, well, maybe we should have a Skull Storm. But we have one anyway, I think, with Diamantina, so never mind. But anyway, that one was pretty fun. I think it'll work. Of course, you can't instant kill the Doom, but you're only fighting the Doom every once in a while. And it's only one of the enemies. It's not like it's all 4 enemies. It's not like it's every single fight. It's in there every once in a while, so it's no big deal. All right, here's one more just to make it 9, just to make it 3 for each. We got Venoxia again, so we're using Archer again. Green Storm, hopefully. We had a Purple Storm here. I think they had a Vow Raven or something, so that's why that happened. I think, maybe. But, we got Ossifer. So, true damage to all enemies, and then you can choose a color to turn to a Doom Skull. Just make sure you choose a color that will give you an extra turns, and that'll cut down on the backfireage. And then Venoxia, putting up green and blue. Green will get itself back up. Blue will get Ossifer some mana. So that's what I usually do with Venoxia. I'll put it with a blue true damage. So now I've got another, instead of just always using Shoggoth, I might start using Ossifer with it. It's just Shoggoth's easier to fill, easier to 50% start and all that. But yeah, cast your Venoxia, hopefully it gets up your Ossifer, cast your Ossifer, pick a color that gives you an extra turn for your skulls, and win. That's it for this one. Remember, live stream, Red Eye, last ride. Let's go. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your guild about the channel. Comment below, and I'll see y'all next time. If you want to help me out, super thanks would be great. Peace out.